How's it going? My name's Rich Voss.
Rich, how are you, sir?
Good. I used to listen to you a lot.
You're the one.
That's my line. Out of every station you were on, ABC then OR.
Thank you, sir.
I used to listen to you, and I was very impressed.
When he said, I'm Rich Voss, let me explain to the audience what just happened. He was really hoping Lionel would say, I know who you are.
No, I don't give a
Shut
fuck.
up.
He's a lawyer.
You know who he is?
I was just putting my stuff down.
Oh.
We're not going to do an AC/DC thing again, are we?
That was your music, because you're a big fan of AC/DC.
Love them. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
You got a turtleneck on today.
Yeah.
You dressing down? Is this dressed down?
No, I got less to do today. Still recovering from yesterday.
Right.
What a day.
I
What a day.
I don't know how to dress like that. He dresses nice. I don't know how to do that.
Because he has the right size head for a turtleneck. It's the perfect size head for a turtleneck. Don't you agree? If your head's too...
How so?
Yeah, what are you getting
He
at?
has a perfect head.
What are you getting at with this?
I'm complimenting him, saying he has a perfect head. That's
For a
compliment.
turtleneck, what does that mean?
Like, what's a bad head for a turtleneck?
Yours. Like, with all that hair, it would just look stupid.
Are you saying it's like a turtle?
You.
Are you saying
in a
his head's-
turtleneck?
I can't wear them. I don't like
I know, because we expect you to go into your...
Are you saying his head's a bit tiny?
No, I'm saying it's perfect.
So he could get a turtleneck on?
No,
a little
you're
easier?
saying that. You're saying that.
No, I have the balls to say what I think you're thinking, but
No.
you don't have.
When I say
why
someone
does
has
he
a-
have the perfect head for a turtleneck?
Dark hair matches the turtleneck. He
You
just
could have
got
wore
the-
a lighter color turtleneck. If you,
Right, so that's
Yeah.
falling apart.
for today. The turtleneck for today.
I
Maybe.
love this.
I think he's saying you have a kind of a tiny head.
He doesn't.
Probably.
You're saying that, right?
I'm a microcephalic, yeah. Pinhead. I understand.
Is that what they call pinheads?
Well, that's not really, not technically.
What do they call heads without chins? Jim Norton. Nothing. It's not a good day for me. Today's political. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be political, too.
thank God. You're succeeding.
I just want to know why you think he has the perfect head. It's a weird thing to
maybe
say.
it's not
That's
the head.
all.
He looks good in a turtleneck. Is that better?
But that's not what
you
you're
gave a
getting at.
specific
yes,
thing.
I'm saying he looks good in a turtleneck.
We all know if you try to put a turtleneck on, you kind of have to squish it over your head. And I think what you were saying is you know.
Oh, no, but that's a good point. I wasn't going that. I'm
You know,
saying
that
he looks
he might
good.
have. So
Some guys don't look good in a turtleneck. He looks okay.
All right. Well, sorry
That's
about
what I
that,
meant to
Lionel.
say.
I invite you back for this shit.
Yeah, but you
Not
didn't-
at all.
You gave a
I
specific
enjoyed the
reason.
tangents. I really do. I'm serious. I
Really?
dig it. Absolutely. It's that veer. It's like carom. It's like you don't know where it's going to go. It just goes here.
Carom!
I'm sure he's aware that he's got a big forehead, and you know
He doesn't have a big forehead.
sure he does.
How can you have a big forehead when you have such a little head?
See, there you go. I just
say it. If you're insulting
want
him, you hurt
you
his
to
feelings.
admit
I'm
that
not
you
insulting.
said
I'm not
he
insulting.
you know, that
I'm
he has a
saying
small
he
head,
looks
which is
good.
good for turtlenecks.
He looks
putting
good
them
in
on.
No, he looks good in a turtleneck.
He's a well-dressed man.
He's a fucking.
He was in a full suit yesterday.
He's
That
a
looked
well-
like he
He's
was
not
expensive.
dead. He's right here, Rich. You can look at him.
He's a well-spoken man. I'm talking to Opie right now.
I know. You're talking about Lionel. He's right here. You're talking about
I
him like
know,
he's
but
not
I'm
here.
talking to Opie.
But you could look in his eyes and say, "Hey, you're a well-spoken,
This isn't a prison
well-dressed,
yard. I don't have to look in his fucking eyes.
well-dressed
No.
man."
Okay.
Was
Yeah.
that suit expensive yesterday, Lionel?
Not particularly.
Wait, you're not wearing your tiny glasses today.
No, he's
either.
wearing bigger
We're
glasses.
the bigger ones.
You didn't like us
I
making
have
fun of your
more-
tiny
no,
glasses
not at all.
yesterday.
Tiny glasses.
Tiny glasses.
In the wine.
The picture
know-
of Jimmy with your tiny glasses on made me
I look
laugh
retarded
all day.
I look retarded with his glasses on. It's like a Philip Seymour Hoffman character.
I have a question for you,
Yes, sir.
and I've listened to you many times, and you,
Oh, yeah, man.
you pretty much are pretty level-headed. Sometimes
Thank you.
you'll lean to the right or the
Yeah.
left, and you
Right,
know what I
depends
mean.
on the situation. Right, thank you.
I know you're politically left, but when it comes a little more, but you will take.
But he's got some moderate in him.
You'll take the right side.
I will.
Right.
Do you think, as a lawyer, people like Ron Kuby are too extreme? Do you think?
Ron, why?
Because he's
No, I
on
didn't
the
mind.
radio.
But
He's a
I
radio
get it.
host.
But just the fact that you phrased that question, it was such an awful question.
That was a good question.
Do you think Ron Kuby's too extreme?
as a radio,
He's a borderline communist.
Of course he's going to say yes, he's a bit extreme.
Well, comics ask us about other comics. I can't ask a lawyer about another lawyer.
Maybe in the break room or on your way down the hall. You ask
fucking
them.
low budget fucking place doesn't have a break room. Fucking break room. You're lucky you got this room.
Some of these questions are meant for off air.
That was just terrible.
Yeah, that's like an off air question.
Hold on, let me start off better.
Although I like the tiny head thing was perfect for on
Yeah.
air.
That was great. That was vintage radio.
What did you? What subways did you take to get here?
I walked.
Okay, see, that's that level of the question you just asked.
How about last night, huh?
Yeah,
Wow.
I started the show by saying I'm very confused by the whole thing because there's so many people coming out and protesting for Eric Gardner. You know, I understand it's a tragic situation. I'm going to say that all morning because I really do believe that, you know, you shouldn't die because you're resisting arrest.
We have to give. I did a podcast yesterday. Just on this kind of.
Are they looking for people?
No. And I just just wanted because after being with you and you always have to say, you know, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
Yeah,
we support our troops. You have to give these
disclaimers.
Yeah, you know.
Certainly do.
I'm not saying all cops are. I'm not saying it's like, well, of course, nobody is lauding the death of anybody. So let's start off. Say that and move on.
Part of it, and you're right, but part of it is we've become accustomed to no matter what you say in social media or wherever it is, people are just going to jump on it. So you almost build in a repellent to their argument that you know is coming.
Right.
And
just
that diffuses. That diffuses your. For example, one of the things I said was, why is it? And if you had to talk to somebody from another planet who came in and said, why is it?
I said, how did you get here? Tell us about your technology. How did you stop from self-destructing?
Did he use the black holes?
Yeah, and the wormholes and whatnot.
But aside from that, if somebody from another country were to say, when a black officer kills a white civilian, and this is maybe whether it happens enough, why aren't there riots? And I asked somebody the other day, and they said, oh, that's stupid. I said, well, why is that stupid? Oh, that's a racial thing. I said, wait a minute. I'm asking a question. I want to know the question. So what Jim is saying is people say, oh, wait, you can't ask that. Well, why can't I ask that question? Another thing, too, is if you bring up the fact that Eric Garner, tragedy, I'm sad, please get that out of the way. But this is the guy who, the reports were, shop owners said, hey, would you get him out of here? He's harassing people. Gonna get him off the street. Hey, NYPD, I pay your taxes. Get him out of here. Don't kill him. So the way that he is portrayed was this guy's just ambling down the sidewalk, minding his own business, has some loose, untaxed cigarettes in him. Here comes the fuzz. Jump. That's not what happened. Now, if you bring that up, that idea conflicts with somebody who's doing the I can't breathe, and they call you a racist. Because racist is the third rail. It's that kryptonite. You can't do that. You can't go there. And that stifles free speech.
Right.
Because there's 10,000 issues here. There's so much. For example, you know how we solve this? From now on, whenever there's a shooting, start with New York and move around the country, that particular prosecutor has to, by law, have a special prosecutor take the case to a grand jury. And that's it.
Right.
How difficult is this?
Right.
But I don't know if people really want to talk about the solution to this because it's too complicated. It's not black and white, no pun intended. There's factors involved in it.
Right.
So I don't know whether people want to interrupt the momentum of the protest. And another thing, if you're going to have a protest, you better be organized. This is going to go the way of Occupation Wall Street. I mean, I'm looking at Twitter. My God, it's at Dallas, at Boston, it's Phantom. Wow. What is the message? Who's in charge? Where is this going? Is this going to kind of diffuse over the weekend into something? What do you want done? Because look at the civil rights marches of the 60s. There were people, there were John Lewis and Jesse Jackson when he was younger, and Martin Luther King, and they said, we have an agenda. This is what we're going to do. We're not here just to enjoy
rabble rouse.
Or it feels like they're just wandering around. All right, so you shut down the Brooklyn Bridge for an hour or two.
Oh, God,
okay, they're going to open it up, and everyone's going to go back to doing their thing. Well, like, what are you truly accomplishing by shutting down, parts of cities every night?
And what is
the answer to that?
I don't
Do they
know.
feel like they're accomplishing something by doing that, or do they
coverage.
feel like they're just wandering around, going, "Well, what are we really doing by walking around?"
Getting people to talk
the
about
most
it.
coverage, when
Right.
they're blocking them.
And then you got the press. If they would turn off their fucking cameras, because everyone is on their phones going, "Oh fuck, we're live on CNN right now." If they would just turn off their cameras,
yes.
people would go home a lot earlier.
Precisely. There was a phrase in the '60s. What if they gave a war and nobody came? Or what if there was an event and nobody covered it? And again, last night, this weird juxtaposition: Peter Pan with the protest, and
I couldn't watch that Peter Pan shit. I know a lot of you guys were tweeting that
watched it.
event.
Oh, how was it, Sam?
I mean, it was fairly cringeworthy at times.
Why? It's a story of a magical boy.
But I like musicals. I
I
enjoyed
do
it.
too.
Do you really like musicals?
I like a magical boy, and I like musicals.
I don't think anyone really likes
The
musicals.
story of a magical boy.
Christopher Walken was not great.
No?
No, he
No.
wasn't. He didn't throw in a lot of effort into the
Why
role.
did he
play?
play Peter Pan?
No, he was Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
Yeah, but he was lip syncing and barely dancing and like spoken word.
You can't possibly like musicals.
I do.
I like stories about magical boys.
That's what you like?
Yes, I do.
You like the message of never growing up?
Yes, I do. It's always being young,
Yeah.
flying in and sprinkling dust on people.
I
You
can't-
like that?
Fairy
Yes,
dust.
I do.
I can't wait for the Black Annie to come out. That's going to be great.
Is that going to bother you that they're doing that?
No, because they're doing a White Roots. That was good. It wasn't bad.
It was good, yeah, but
Well, I mean, come on. We saw how well the Honeymooners did when it was Mike Epson. Okay, I'll go.
I don't remember the honeymooners.
You said the Honeymooners.
No, you didn't, you idiots.
I think you said Mike
E-Rock, can you-
Epson.
Can you rewind and
No,
listen to him?
okay, you might be right.
I know. A, I know I'm right. And B, I want to hear the honeymooners.
And I think you said Mike Epps wrong, too.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure.
I think you
Say,
did.
Avocado. Give me the avocado.
Lionel, we'll get back to some serious conversation in a minute
No,
here.
not at
but
all.
right, let's hear this, Eric, please. You got it? Eric! And I don't understand Sam liking musicals. You like musicals, Lionel?
I'm not a big fan.
I get really mad. I'm like, they're fucking singing again. Because
I like
then
the
they will do
songs.
dialogue for a little bit. I'm like, okay, I can appreciate a good
And they all
Broadway
know the
show.
words. They all know the words spontaneously.
Right. And then all of a sudden, oh, fuck, here comes another song. And then you look at your program like, I got 12 more songs to sit through before we can get out of here.
See, I say only 12 more songs.
I hate musicals.
I like a story about a magical boy.
You do?
Yes, I do.
That's why Mum and Chance was my favorite.
It's Mum and Chance, not Mum
I
and
think you might have got
Chance.
that one wrong, too.
Why would you attempt a word of that size when you
That's
couldn't
it.
get the honeymooners?
You know what? I didn't see the musical, but I saw the movie Jersey Boys, and it was great.
I mean,
see, I didn't see the.
A couple songs, yeah, little catchy songs, that's fine. But where the whole thing is another song after song, oh, God, no.
You didn't like Les Mis?
I don't think I ever went to Les Mis. And see, I don't even know if I went. I'm not sure.
Right. You could have gone. You just don't. You have no memory.
I think I didn't go.
You see the movie?
No.
No.
Movie was good.
No, I did the Phantom of the
you
Opera
kidding me?
thing.
No.
He likes music.
What about Jesus Christ Superstar?
Did not go.
Yeah, that's in a
Well,
matter
I mean,
of
did you ever
opinion.
hear the music?
I did Jekyll and Hyde with Sebastian Bach. He was really good. That one I almost didn't mind.
Almost.
How about Hair?
I didn't go. I avoid musicals.
No, I mean the movie. I don't go to.
Can we hear this?
Versus hair in general.
Right.
Can we hear? I just want to hear Rich.
Yeah,
Stefan,
sure.
please.
I was just stalling.
He found it.
You got it?
Come on. We saw how well the Honeymooners did.
The honeymooners.
And did he say Mike Epson or something?
No, I said Mike Epps.
I think he said Mike Epps and
Was it Buddy Epson?
Okay, back to Lionel. So, where are you at with this today? I mean, it was quite impressive with the protesters. The numbers went way up overnight too. Yeah. And are they going to continue tonight? Is it going to get even bigger tonight?
Well, it's not going to continue indefinitely. In fact, what's going to happen is, what's the message? It's going to go I think it's going to go the way of Occupy Wall Street, because it's kind of incoherent. You know, what exactly? Okay, now that you've done this, I got it. I can't breathe. I got it. I understand that. What do you want? Imagine Martin Luther King having a march. What do you want?
They want some
What
cops.
do I want? I never thought about that. What do I want?
But aren't there times to just say that we're mad about what's going on?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Exactly.
I was out there trying to get that rally cry going.
Did it work?
No, I was trying to stamp the 1 foot. We're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Right. It didn't work?
No.
Should have invited me.
I think they want cops arrested, Lionel.
Well, say it. Okay,
They
let's
absolutely
assume
want some cops arrested.
You want the cops arrested? You want cops indicted? Do you want to change the grand jury system? Do you want accountability for this? Do you? What is it that you want?
I would say all of the above.
You want more
For the
minority
protesters.
cops in minority neighborhoods.
Nah, that doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
Because I talked to a cop. What happens is when you just put black cops in black
I said more. I didn't say all. Go ahead.
When you just
Jimmy's
put,
got an answer to this for real.
because he said what happens is they start complaining. He goes, you put them in, like, you know, guys from Harlem or the Bronx and Harlem or the Bronx, and they see the white guys with nice little gigs like Greenwich Village, and they complain. Why the fuck am I
Well,
here? Because
if
I'm
you go
black? Like, I'm just saying that they've tried that, and they got complaints from the black
you
officers.
go to Chinatown, it's all Asian cops.
A lot of times that might be a language thing, though.
It's all
'cause
the
they,
same with the uptown.
well, they speak English, you know. Right.
But you know,
Probably Asian.
but nobody is going
Panicking.
back and saying, "Let's look at what happened again. Let's look at this Eric Garner case. Forget the others and tell me what happened. What was the cause of that man's death? Forget just in general. Can you answer that question? Because sadly,
He got shot.
the facts. I don't believe he was shot, but
Oh, I was just
He
guessing.
wasn't shot.
Oh,
Lionel, I like
get hit by a truck.
I like Lionel better when he's wearing his tiny glasses.
Yeah, and there's something that's better about the tie. I take it more seriously with the tie than the turtleneck.
Yeah.
you people are so
The turtleneck
so
with the big
easily
glasses.
distracted.
What?
Okay?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're easily
We're on
distracted. That's
topic.
okay. No, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine.
Like now he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was a media
You
presence.
got to look with those tiny glasses.
Now he's just a man who's sleight of frame.
Do you still practice law?
Yes. Well, yes. Right. But I want to go back to what I was going to say about this case. Can we just finish this thing?
Yes,
he
we
wasn't
can.
shot. This was a man who was arrested.
Died of
Should he have
AIDS.
been arrested? He was arrested before in the past. He put up a fight or resisted. Wrong. Officer Pantaleo jumped on top of him. Not in a chokehold.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have yelled, "Hee-haw." That was inappropriate.
True.
Ride 'em cowboy
Yeah, it was
did not work.
inappropriate.
Right, I understand that. So it went down. He said, I can't breathe. There was a black sergeant who was there. You heard that
There's a
story.
case like this in Staten Island, what you're describing.
female
Precisely.
female black cop.
Female black cop, which
Who was in
doesn't-
charge, I think.
Who was in charge, who
Oh, boy.
doesn't excuse anything.
That explains it. Go ahead, Lionel. I hear what you're saying.
So anyway,
Put them in charge.
there should have been quicker time to get the EMS there.
Oh, they're very slow people. You know, go ahead. I'm with you.
They said he laid around without any medical attention for a long time. That is
Well, who's in
bothersome.
charge? Well, exactly.
That's bothersome to a lot of people as
That's
well.
another issue. Look at the
Yeah.
case this morning of the poor young man who was shot in the stairwell in the pink house, the apartment, who they say that the police officer, according to the Daily News, instead of calling EMS and saying we've just have a child or a person who was shot, he's texting his union representative. Again, that's another issue. Is this the way you handle that? So this is multi-layered.
Yeah.
Was Eric Garner choked or arrested because he was black? No.
Did he call the ambulance after he called the union rep?
This other case, there was an accusation
No, I mean
they
another
were
case.
investigating.
Like the guy's laying there dying, and instead of calling the ambulance, he's playing Angry Boyds.
I don't know about that, but there was a problem as far as how quickly they responded to this.
Right.
Do you like how Fred Gwynn played the judge in that movie?
Absolutely, my cousin Vinny.
Great. Wasn't he great?
He
One of the
was wonderful
That
in
was
that
one of the
movie.
most accurate courtroom movies I've ever seen. Period, bar none.
Why?
Absolutely, because the hot chick,
Absolutely.
Oh, I get it, the
they always
bar.
accept the pretty girl as the expert because she knows path attraction.
That was one of the best ones because it explained arraignment.
Do you
and it
ever
was-
laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just,
Yeah. Okay. Just asking.
No, the best
the most
courtroom
realistic
movie.
courtroom scene was on Justice for All when the lawyer has a pangs of consciousness.
No, the one
You're
with-
out of order. That's realistic.
with Samuel Jackson, where he shot the guys that raped his kid.
Snape's on a plane.
What fucking
A
movie?
Time to Kill. It's a John Grisham novel.
Yeah, fucking great courtroom.
We got a cop that was at the protest last night. Let's see if he's got something to add to this.
We're
Jay.
mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Stomp that foot, though, right? Jay, go ahead.
Sound like Valerie Cherish.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Yeah, I was there in the mix last night in Times Square.
are you on the job?
Yes.
Okay.
So I appreciate you guys' support for some of us. I know you guys have been talking the past few days, especially the weeks with Ferguson. But yeah, this whole thing's just getting out of control. Every night is just nonstop all over the city, and it's just getting long and tiring for everyone now.
And you guys didn't have as much patience last night, I noticed. You guys arrested a few.
You know what, Hope, when they just decide to walk in the middle of the street now and just stop traffic and want to play these games, there's a way to protest, and we're all about expressing, like, your First Amendment rights. But when you're going to do it and start fucking up shit now, then, you got to start playing games back.
I kind of want to, like, walk with the protesters, because I think it would be cool to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge with no cars like that. How cool would that be?
Yeah, listen, it's understandable.
Or walk the West Side Highway. You don't get to do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, but then you got to come back.
I wish he would.
You know what I just can't understand? What I can't understand is, I understand the black people out there protesting, but I just can't understand how all the protests, it's all white people chanting Black Lives Matter, and I just can't figure it out.
Yeah, that's just exactly.
That's what I said.
Well, I'm trying to get mine going. We're mad as heck, and we're not going to take it. And no one will jump on that.
Could someone please?
That would have caught on last night.
Could someone please do that chant on CNN tonight?
Yeah, please.
They're all over the place.
But just like that.
Just like that. Stomping your foot.
The bag is making noise.
Oh, shut up.
What are you doing?
After all this conversation about everything that's going on with Eric Gardner, he's gotten upset about his breakfast.
Why?
Because they didn't have a fucking corn muffin.
So what? You're not going to be able to shit?
White guy problems. Right?
Exactly.
All right, Jay, anything else you want to say?
You don't do this on your show, by the way.
What?
Appreciate your support, guys. Appreciate your support. Punching out.
Well,
I was quiet, though.
We're
You're making noise.
We're trying to attack this from many different angles. Yes, Lionel.
Jay, what are your orders? What are you told off the record?
He hung up.
Okay, well, okay. Imagine if Jay was still there. What are they told? Because here's the problem. When somebody obstructs something, is the purpose of protest to obstruct or to make a statement?
It's hard to concentrate when Jim Norton is putting fingerprints in
Rich Foster's bread
and Rich's toast.
But he's very respectful on his own radio program. He doesn't eat and cause complaints.
Did I move over?
Just a lot of this.
Don't act like this is a fucking radio
Shut
program.
up, you're all, yeah, man. You're talking off the mic. Hey, where's my breakfast?
My corn muffin.
Exactly.
What, Lionel?
My question is, what are the rules? If I protest, I'm going to be causing some kind of inconvenience, but if I walk in the middle of the street and I obstruct, do people have any rights just to move about, to go forward? How do you accommodate the right to protest with my right to go to the store, to come home, or to go to a doctor, or to live my life?
I think the philosophy is to let people let off some steam for the first day or two, and then the cops have to kind of show that they're in charge.
Civil disobedience.
Right.
I think disobeying.
What is it, like a cooling off period? They tend to give protesters, like, let them do whatever the fuck they want, and then we'll move in and make sure we're in control after that.
I was running around getting my chant going.
Yeah.
What was the chant?
We're mad as heck, and we're not going to take it.
Where was it most popular?
In his apartment.
Yeah, where were you?
All over.
Where?
Harlem, they were going crazy for that one.
Harlem. I don't think they were really up there in Harlem last night.
Yes, I was.
You sure?
Yes.
You were walking around with protesters in Harlem?
It's just me.
Just you?
That's right.
What were you chanting?
I'm mad as heck, and I'm not going to take it.
I think we're going to take a break. I got to eat. Rich, you got to eat, right?
No, I'll let you get off air.
How's Lionel doing so far?
I fucking love Lionel. I was always a big fan of Lionel because I've always learned when I listened to him.
What have you learned from Lionel?
She felt that way about Kevorkian.
I mean, here's the thing with Norton. He's so quick. They're not always funny. It's a numbers game, but he's so fucking quick. I was listening.
I love his delivery, though, and he leans in because he really wants it to hurt.
I know. Well, he leans in because he's an over actor.
No, it's because there's a microphone there that helps my voice go out over the radio. Stupid. We're not in a vacuum. We're performing professionally. Am I supposed to do talk back there? Kevorkian. It just doesn't sound the same.
No, you lean toward him, though. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that about it.
I'm a big fan of
All right, we're going to take a break. Lionel's here. We're very happy. You want to take maybe some phone calls or something, Lionel?
Absolutely.
How's the Twikey?
Try to figure this shit out.
There's a lot to talk about. Also about the mayor. What did you think of de Blasio's statement? Pat Lynch, the PBA president, he's laying into the mayor.
That's the mayor of cheese, we call him.
Look, we understand when you get a liberal mayor in your city that, they're going to say stuff about the police, but he went too far. He threw them all under the fucking bus. There's guys out there doing the right thing all the fucking time.
But was he speaking as a mayor?
He was speaking as a father.
As a father or as a hat salesman?
But even Obama, the president said, wait a minute, he said, he always has to work in, this, I could be Eric, or I could be, that's fine. But he became presidential because you have to think almost paternalistic. You're a father, so to speak, of this city.
Right.
I can't.
And then again, Pat Lynch, remember, he is the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association head. He is an advocate. He knows exactly, he represents his people. He's doing the right thing, whether you agree or disagree. I thought that was not right. And then you have Ray Kelly and other past commissioners coming forward. What do you think about this? And we're losing sight of what's happening. Because I hate to say it, this is not a complicated issue. We're making it a complicated issue. We are going into, can I give a quick analogy? Do you mind?
I don't think anything you've ever said was quick, but somehow they're going to blame Israel on this.
Yes, the Jews did do this.
Right,
Go ahead, Lionel, quick.
Somebody's going to...
My food's waiting.
There are a million arguments here. If you want to argue race, go into room number 1. If you want to talk about the grand jury, go into room number 2. If you want to talk about race, and by the way, I don't buy this business about there's racial disharmony in this country.
There is a lot of it.
We get along fine. The police sometimes, some police and some members of certain factions, demographics don't. But we get along.
But I'll tell you one reason. It's not racial disharmony, but because we're all bullshit. We don't, people don't, when you have an honest racial conversation with one of your black friends, it's polite for a few minutes, and then when you start to dig away the top layer of what you're saying, you realize that you both do feel differently about it, and then you have to make a decision. How are we going to go? Again, it's easier, I think, for two comics and two accountants in an office. The parameters of your job are a little different. Right. But we do have a tremendous fucking difference in how we see things.
But so do we. We may have an age difference, a regional difference, a sexuality difference.
Don't point at me when you say that.
I wasn't. But so what? That doesn't mean we hate each other. See, I hate this nonsense about this is disharmony. And this isn't Selma and the Edmund Pettus Bridge. We don't have Bull Connor anymore. Stop it. We're playing the old memes.
Bull cuckold.
This is a very simple case that a lot of, I hate to say it, stupid people who don't have the ability to critically think and understand nuance, they come along and this is their first rodeo, and all of a sudden you get another group of people who say, you know what, my mom and dad used to protest, and this is my first protest. Hey, did you see my Instagram page? Here we are. This is great. I don't know what the hell I'm asking for. Yep. I don't know what I want. I'm upset. Some are.
No, thank you. We said it earlier. I'm not sure how many of the people that were protesting last night really, truly have the passion for this issue.
You want to talk
I'm
about
not really sure, because I think they do get caught up in the fact that they're actually in the protest, taking their selfies and whatnot, and telling all their friends, "Yeah, I'm here protesting. I made a sign today."
We don't know what
are they really into what they're doing?
Look,
I don't know.
Let me tell you something. For me, what hit me the first time, I don't know what it's like being black. I never was black. I don't go into stores and the security guy follows me. I've never been pulled over by a driving while black. I don't know what that's like. I don't think they're lying when they say that. But I got to tell you what.
You ever been with a black girl, though?
Huh?
Yes, I have.
You ever been with a black girl?
No,
cut
of
off?
course not.
What do you mean?
Of course not.
Why? Why do you say that?
No. I want to stick with this though, please. I want to go through this.
I think it's a fair question.
I think it's a very good question.
I have not been with a black woman.
But why did you say of course not?
No, because I want to stick to this. When I walked into
racism of life.
Not at all.
There might be a little racism.
Not at all. When I walked in one time,
I would like to be with a black girl.
Yeah,
that's terrific.
I have
wonderful.
And spat on the floor.
And Rich, have you been with a black girl?
Have you ever spoken to a black girl?
My grandmother
was a black woman.
Was with a black guy.
Do you know that until 1967...
Picked him up at his water fountain?
Do you know that in this country, until 1967...
Yes, Lionel.
In a case called Loving against Virginia...
Ooh, sounds sexy.
Let's put that on a bumper sticker.
Interracial marriage anti-miscegenation laws were the law of the land. This is how insane that was.
How crazy it got, right?
1967, Robert De Niro would be cracking rocks upstate. It's ridiculous. There was institutional racism.
Oh, because his wife's black, right?
Yes.
Grace Hightower.
And that's why you never got with a black woman, because it was against the
You're
law.
a law and order, man, and you also believe that mixing the races was against God. I understand what you're saying.
Fantastic. Let me tell you what happened to me one time where I saw, and I could not believe this.
Yes.
I walked into the first time I left the prosecutor's office and I'm doing defense work. I walked into the courthouse, or the jail, rather, the county jail. And I walked in and I see nothing but black people. And I said, as a joke, I said, is this the black jail? Where are the white people? I didn't know this because prosecutors don't normally go into the jail. They said, no, this is a jail. I said, you mean to tell me 14% of the population? It represents about 70% of the... What's going on here? And then you realize, when you walk into court, there's a different system of justice. White guys get bonded out. Black guys, either they can't make the bail. Then you have things like more insidious federal sentencing guidelines. Powder cocaine that white kids use is one standard. Crack cocaine has a higher. There's institutional racism.
Part of that, though, can I say this? I think part of the reason crack is such a problem is because those drug posses that got involved were so violent, so fast.
Yep.
They fucked themselves. Like those Jamaican posses, the guys that assassinated that cop, was it Ed Burr was the guy's name? They were so violent, they forced the police to do something. It was almost like powdered cocaine.
I'm sure there was a factor.
Was bad enough.
You're right.
But crack, a lot of violence came with it, and a lot of, because it was so addicting, people say, well, it's not more addicting, but it was more affordable, so they'd go back for more fast.
The whole system. This system, if you knew how bad it was, the drug wars, these fictional wars on terrorism and drugs, it's nonsense. And we're arguing about this. There's so much that's wrong. So I want to join people. It was
right until the late 60s. They had it until 1967. Then all of a sudden they ended that good law. The whole interracial marriage thing.
But remember this, not to bring the parallel up, but when gay people asked for the rights, gay people asked for the rights to be married, and people say you can't do that because that's unnatural, that's against the Bible, that was the same argument they made in 1967.
Yes, and you know who doesn't like you to make that argument? Black people. Black people despise because a lot of them are very religious, they do not like when gays use black civil rights in their argument. They don't like being compared.
In Prop 8 in California, when gay folks said, hey, why don't we try to overturn
come on, a non-sexual term, Lionel,
well, they passed they passed this law which basically forbade whites and black gay people married.
See, there's Lionel's racism.
Why didn't you ever get with a black woman?
Never had the opportunity.
How about a black transgender? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
You never just...
Or a Ukrainian, or a Serbo-Croatian, or...
What was your thing?
I'm happily married. It's the best thing that ever happened to me.
How long you married?
No, we're talking about...
33 years.
Okay.
But we're talking about single, Lionel. Did you have a freaky...
Yeah, when you were young, swinging your dick
around. Like, did you had no desire to just check out, having sex with a black girl or something?
I enjoy all humanity.
You ever experiment with a man?
So you only slept with red ants.
You ever experiment with a gentleman?
I have not done that. Of course not. Keeping with my theme.
Of course not.
Experimented? What, with a petri dish or a cock in his mouth? I don't understand experiment. What do you mean?
You certainly do.
I was making... Guess what?
Lionel, we're going to take a break.
The ability to derail is amazing.
We're not derailing.
No, it's just fun.
This thing, we're trying to get to know you. We only met you yesterday. All right, Rich Voss is going to be at the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island this weekend. Jimmy's going to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania this weekend right after the show. Yeah. And Lionel, what do you got going on?
You, today. That's it.
Please.
What's your Twitter? You tweet a lot.
At Lionel Media.
And you do,
by the way,
you do vlogs and stuff. By the way, what?
The reaction yesterday was very, very good.
Yes.
And then, of course, you get a troll here and there. But overall, absolutely amazing. I was telling somebody, do you realize, and looking back at yesterday,
right,
the serious stuff, do you know what amazed me the most was with Pauly Shore talking about stem cell research and Parkinson's. I would have never thought that would happen. I love that.
Well, that's what we do on this show.
That's me.
We surprise people all the time.
Because you put across this veneer that somehow this is about...
Speaking of veneers, chewing with his fucking napkin over his mouth.
Implants.
Oh, whatever
This
they
is
are.
a very serious, well thought, very cerebral,
SIRIUS?
adult, a very,
Radio show.
very punny. Yes,
Nice.
I'm telling you right now.
All right.
And we talked about this. We alluded to this before. This is what people want to talk
happened?
about.
Not illusions, illusions.
I'm
talking about my wife. I'm talking about my life. God, the devil, hell, heaven. Do you understand? Finally.
How come you're not doing radio now?
I am. I'm right next to you.
What is this?
No, I mean your own show.
You don't want to acknowledge that wonderful quote by Jim Norton?
What, from Network? Or what movie? What movie was that?
It's a new movie called I Wish You Were Dead, Rich.
Do you really? Is that your wish?
We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Hey, we got Lionel in studio, and in a few minutes, I believe Bill Burr is calling in to promote his Netflix special. He was on Conan last night. He killed it. There's a clip online if you want to check it out.
So funny.
Very funny. We love Bill.
Just so
we love
funny,
you too,
man.
Rich.
No, I'm just complimenting you.
And we kind of like Lionel. We don't know much about you yet, Lionel. It's only been 2 days. I can't say I love you yet.
I like Lionel.
You will.
Lionel.
You will.
All right? I will. Sam, you love Lionel?
I'm falling in love.
You're falling in love,
Like
right?
I'm getting there. Yeah.
Like Robbie Robertson said, you like it now, but you'll learn to love it later.
Right.
Yeah?
The big anal sex.
You got a good piece?
That's right.
Yeah.
You think he's got a good piece, this Lionel?
I think it's probably long but skinny.
I think you're half wrong.
You think so?
Yeah, no offense, Lionel, but I think you're an almost 5 by very thin guy.
I love this place. I love this place. I'm telling you right now, don't ever change
it's
this.
awful.
If Meet the Press only did this, if all of a sudden, I think it's fantastic.
You think he shaves down, though, at least?
I was just about to ask you.
No, he does not.
presentation?
No, he does not. He trims it once in a while.
I have never been asked that question. This is
We
fantastic.
didn't officially ask you. We're just speculating.
You're musing.
We're speculating.
Little glasses.
Should we
on their
ask
head.
him officially what his
But-
penis looks like?
Yeah. How much? What are you
Lionel,
packing?
what are you going to?
Well, we know he's
Oh,
cut.
come on, for God's sake.
What?
I mean,
If we're gonna become friends, I mean,
Big boy down there.
This is the standard.
we've seen each other's
Does it
penises.
look-
Sometimes
I saw
we'll
Jim
run-
Norton
Was this the initiation ride to be a part of the show?
Yeah,
Are you
big boy
asking?
down there.
I saw Jim Norton get a blowjob in Times Square in a car.
That's what I saw. He was intimately involved.
I was in the back seat, and Jimmy
He was blowing me.
Jimmy was very happy with what was going on. That he adjusted the rearview mirror. He really wanted me to look, and then he was smiling.
I've done that with him all many times.
I've seen your penis just in pictures, Rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie star.
My penis has done many cameos.
Yeah. It ought to be in pictures, kid. That giant mushroom cap.
Speaking of penises, Lionel wants to talk about Bill Cosby, another woman coming forward today.
How many total are there? Gloria Allred is weighing in.
Oh, wow. What are the
4,000.
odds?
She's awful, but if it's this one, that's the last woman you want to see show up.
Yeah.
Even though she's atrocious.
You don't want to deal with her in her red pantsuit, right?
No.
Ever.
I beg to differ. Gloria Allred.
You like the Gloria Allred?
Well, let me just tell you, Gloria Allred and Al Sharpton may be the bane of many people's existence. However, if you need your case to get the attention it deserves, if you want to take your case to another level, they're the people to have.
But they're expensive, though.
Their awfulness is their awfulness, and the media picks up on it because they're good TV, because they're awful. It's like Nancy Grace, just a pig. But I mean, she'll get you attention.
But that's half of the battle. But here's the question that I have.
What's the new one about with the Cosby? It's pretty much the same thing, Sam Roberts?
I can't.
45 years ago, she wants money.
yeah.
Anything different with this lady?
Not that I've read.
Sorry, Lionel, I'm just trying to get
No,
the basic
no,
info
no.
out before we discuss it. But someone did come forward overnight or yesterday during all the protests.
So
They
there's-
squeezed this story in.
There's no statute of limitations on child molestation, but there is on rape.
Well, criminal, no. Civil, maybe a different story, depending upon the state. Here's the question.
No, I'm saying Sandusky can go to prison for. So there's
Right.
no statute of limitation on
If
child.
there are, depending upon the state, depending upon the jurisdiction, if it is a life felony or it is something tantamount to that, there is no statute of limitations to charge somebody with a crime. For a civil matter, a lawsuit, money damages, that's a different story. Then you have an issue where a child who, let's say, does not have a charge brought, or the parents don't bring a lawsuit on behalf of the child, is allowed so many years after that child reaches 18 or 21, depending upon the state.
It doesn't say if it starts to, like you have 3 years from the time that you realize it's affecting you or something. That covers repressed memories and all that stuff.
Which is a problem, a huge problem. It's one of the most bogus, fraudulent areas you can possibly imagine. I'm not saying they don't exist, but be very careful.
Unless they allow you to get into, unless your psychiatric records and therapy notes are available to the court, because then it's like, okay, this person didn't talk about this until recently, but if you can go back into someone's therapy or psychiatrist and go, look, they talked about this 11 years ago, this is just not true.
Well, that's different. That shows almost you're corroborating it. But here's the question.
Okay.
When something is 45 years old and you're Bill Cosby or anybody else, do we ever get to the point where we say, look, too much time has passed? Or is in the case of war crimes, or Byron Della Beckwith, who shot and killed Medgar Evers. This guy's 90 years old. He's walking around. He's yelling, "Who ordered the veal cutlet?" He doesn't know where he is. Do we ever get to the point where we say, "All right, that's enough"?
If he doesn't know, not for him. Not for a murder. It's even if they get him eventually. Like there's 2 cops that were killed by some guy in the 50s, and they got them recently on some DNA. It was like one of those fucking DNA technology didn't exist. No, I don't think for that kind of stuff there should ever be.
They caught Joe List 30 years later. I don't know why they're not in Cuba.
Do you mean John List?
Yeah, from Westfield.
Joe List is a stand-up comedian.
John
List killed his family.
In Westfield. There's
a big difference there.
List of idiots is what you're at the head of.
How come no one's going and grabbing Joanne Chesmar?
Because she's in Cuba.
We can't get it. You don't think we can get her if we want?
We couldn't get Castro, and we can't get her out. With the effort it would take, would be too much.
Out.
But
yes, Lionel.
But the thing is
point.
that everybody now is saying, well, I knew about Cosby. I knew. Tina Fey said, we knew about Cosby. We all knew about Cosby.
Well, she was making, I believe, rape jokes on SNL back in 2005 when it came to Cosby.
But nothing rose to the surface until Hannibal, whatever, Burr's come up, and he has this bad video, and all of a sudden, that was it. The floodgates open, and now we're saying, now we're going to take it seriously.
Yeah, but that's the world we live in. You never know what's going to be.
It just happened to grab hold. You never know what it is.
You just never know what it's going to be that pushes it forward and makes it viral.
Because this video, with the women talking, in the last few years, it was like, hey, if something goes viral, it's usually there's a video or a clip. But then again, what else got in trouble? Oh, Tosh was not a video. That was just, that went viral. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. If something just grabs or it doesn't.
Bill Cosby's got to go underground, go silent, go deep, go away. Just get out of the picture. People will forget. Yes,
they'll never forget this one.
He is toast. But when he and his lawyers are saying, well, you just wanted money. You demanded money, and then you filed suit the next day. Well, that may be true.
But he's fighting for his name, so I'm not surprised that the lawyers are fighting for him. You know, he's not really saying much of anything.
Fighting for your name if you've got a great case. You know, he's presumed innocent, and what
other choice does he have?
They canceled him in upstate New York this weekend.
In Manchester.
And the Navy.
What are you doing, Rich?
And the Navy revoked his honorary title.
I know. It was tailhook.
What are you doing, Rich? You finally got your corn muffin?
You wanted me to laugh? Very good.
Thank you.
Touche, sir.
It's very loud what you're doing.
What are you doing, Rich? We're having a deep conversation about Cosby.
The last girl that came out was 15. So can he be arrested?
No.
Why? She's underage.
Because it's his word against hers, and he'll never admit it, and there's no real proof.
Well, it was everybody's word against Sandusky, too.
Yeah, but also I think with Sandusky, when he walks in, one fellow testified, he walks into a shower and hears, if not the eyewitness, earwitness, hears Sandusky raping this, they were
frolicking.
That's a different story.
That's an unbelievable story.
Yeah,
How do you walk away from that?
How do you not jerk off?
How did the institution of Penn State say we are walking from Sandusky, not Joe Paterno? Sandusky, throw him under the bus, just cut bait, get rid of him. Why? There's this surrounding. I'm sorry. There's this. Circling the wagon.
You've never been caught with like a little boy in a shower or anything, right?
I never.
Absolutely not.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
I can hang out with you then.
Steam room.
I had to make sure, Sam Roberts.
It's good that you cleared that up. I didn't find that in the research.
So, what you want these women to go away?
No,
because too much time went by.
Yes, they're yucky.
My question is, What do you do? Do we have any rights as an accused? Do we ever? There's something in law called pre-accusatory delay. We have speedy trial. You got to bring a case within the statute of limitations. We have this idea that you just can't have cases hanging around unless they're special.
Lionel,
Speaking of special, what are you doing?
what are you doing? This is some heavy stuff we're talking about, Rich.
You don't do it on his radio show. He doesn't do this.
Yes, I do. I eat pretzels.
What were you doing?
Fuck, I hope you have the same
I
ones that
walked away.
George Bush had.
I walked away from so you wouldn't hear it. You didn't hear that, did you?
Yeah, heard it? Yes.
We heard it.
Without the
Sorry,
mic, people
Lionel,
heard
I was-
it.
No,
No
fine.
disrespect to you.
You could have just
Not
walked
at
out of the
all.
room and
You're
done it.
basically saying, Lionel, I don't give a fuck what you're saying.
Exactly. Stop aligning yourself with the audience.
As the crinkling of
Don't look at me
cellophane.
like that. You walked into a corner to do a mundane act.
Not a mundane.
It's mundane to crumple up a bag.
I was
that could
folding
wait.
it. I'm sorry.
No one cares,
But
but
he's
loud.
making
I
some
wanted
really
to
good
get-
points.
He would smash it.
And it's
I
Bill
had to get it
Cosby.
away
I
from him.
wouldn't smash it.
But you
I'm
can relate
sorry.
to this
Yes,
stuff because
I'm
he's talking about
You and your
stand-up
Frankenstein
comedy.
hairdo.
What's that? I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
What was he? What was he saying?
Your
then?
parents should have both been saying that.
I'm sorry. No disrespect to you.
Shut up.
Do you understand what he was saying, or you
Yes.
just don't care?
I do care. I listen to
What are
him
you
all
taking
the
a
time.
picture of, Jimmy?
Fucking Frankenstein do.
You did get a very short haircut.
Oh, it's
yeah.
awful.
It's a little
No,
different.
It's not awful.
Shut up. It's fucking awful.
I like it.
I know you do, but I don't.
All the guys on Grindr are wearing their hair like this.
Fucking was. You know what that grinder's all about, right, Lionel?
Absolutely.
You do?
All right. So let's
I'm
get
sorry.
back. Let's get back on point now that Rich has put his corn muffin away for later. You're saving it for later?
Got a long ride.
That's all right. Fair
I
enough.
also have a turkey burger in the car.
Do you?
Yeah, me nods.
You see that dramatic nod? Lionel, that's why
Confidently.
he's on TV. He knows how to work it. Lionel's folding his hands. That might not be a good sign.
No,
He's
not
a
at
little
all.
annoyed, I think.
Are you a little
Oh, not
annoyed?
at all. No, I was looking at just the multimedia here. It's amazing. The reactions to see all of these
We like having
people
all the news
basically
channels
saying
on.
nothing. They say nothing. The media are beyond hopeless.
They don't have balls to speak openly. Most of them. I mean, you get the Giulianis and the Barclays. I hate when people do that, but
That's Barclays.
Barclays. You know, but in general, these guys don't really give their
I didn't read
much
what-
of an opinion.
They say nothing. This is Jurassic. This is Ted Baxter, sock puppet. This is nonsense. This is just this.
The new Jurassic Park looks good. Speaking of Jurassic,
And they
they
got-
have a brand new dinosaur. He's got 400 arms.
I didn't read what Barkley
Scary.
said. What did he say?
Barkley was
So he doesn't think the 76ers are going to do it this year.
he's for what happened, basically.
Well, he's in support of the cops.
Yeah.
People with money. So it's
Moolah.
It's money because they don't come across that kind of crap. They got money.
No, but he said he's,
most black celebrities and athletes that have money are not pro cop.
he said he feels bad that
That's
he called
why-
them scumbags.
He
the
does feel
rioters.
bad?
Well, he said maybe I shouldn't have called them scumbags.
But this isn't pro cop. This is a case that has nothing to do. This is so isolated. And the only reason why it's got this much attention is because it falls at the heels of Michael Brown, and people were still organized for that. I'm not diminishing the importance of this, but the Eric Garner case, if you really want to look at a problem, and I know our friend's going to take great
Well, but
umbrage
wait a
at this,
second.
there is a thuggery by a lot of police around the country. Not all cops, but loads of people.
Umbrage.
But
He's
wait,
going
but
to
you're
take
saying
umbrage,
this is
you're
only
right.
on the,
But he
on
gets
the
him home
heels of
faster.
Michael Brown. But then why was Michael Brown getting so much attention? So you're saying what
Kenny's
was that
letting
on
that
the
one
heels
go?
of?
Is Kenny really letting that one
Right?
go?
Yeah.
What was that on the heels of? You
No,
know,
but I'm
you're
saying,
this is-
but the organization for Michael Brown was still there, and then this happens. Almost, you cannot pick better or worse timing depending upon your frame of reference. So that's that part.
Lionel, what happens tonight? We've had 2 nights of protesting
Between
here in
the
New
two
York
of us.
City. It is Friday night. People get distracted very easily.
One more night, not over the weekend.
You think they're going to go all out tonight?
Tonight's going to be the finale. We have a 5-day maximum attention span of a Nat society. 5 days maximum. Weekend coverage ain't going to happen because what you said before, which is very, very important.
Was it brilliant?
What if there are brilliant, beyond
I
brilliant?
knew it was.
You said, what if there was no media coverage?
Right.
That's what happens on the weekends.
Right.
Watch what happens.
It'll die down.
Yeah, but my
Absolutely.
new chant is all over the city.
Will there be more people on the streets tonight than last night? Last night was
Yes.
impressive. Even more tonight.
Even more so. Because they're still together and they want to outdo last night. Plus, it's Friday.
And then you got a lot of people, most people don't have to go to work tomorrow morning, so now they're going to be out a little later, having a few cocktails. I'm going to predict there's going to be some issues tonight.
Well, there's going to...
I'm going to predict there's going to
A
be
new chant everybody's doing. Did you
What's the
hear
new
that?
chant again?
What is the chant?
We're mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Had to be recorded.
Yes. You think there's going to be some issues tonight? Maybe some vandalism?
Oh, he's got issues.
Well, kudos to the police
I think it's perfect.
and the protesters.
But I think it's a perfect storm with it being a Friday night.
Because this is the end of the week. But the thing I want to hear now is, okay, what do we want?
Blowjobs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Listeners.
Well, Lionel, you did
Better
ask,
guess.
though.
I did ask.
You did ask.
Yes, I did.
And now you're mad at the
And
answer.
I'm not mad.
What do you want, a pop lock?
Mr. Norton answered the question, and I think it's fantastic.
You asked, and Jimmy, answered honestly.
Yeah, what's the big hullabaloo?
He's right. He's right, Lionel.
It's true.
We do all want-
No, you're right.
You wouldn't mind a blowjob, right, Lionel?
Absolutely. Get over here.
This is the most amazing show.
Do you like blowjobs?
Oh, my God.
Just curious. We're friends. Jim, you do.
We're
right?
not
Yes, I
friends
do,
yet,
Sam.
Sam. We're still getting to know him.
Love him.
Well, I feel like if I don't know if he likes
We
blowjobs
started off
or
on the
not.
wrong
How can
foot
you not?
because of Rich
When you get-
Voss talking about his tiny head and his
When he
and
gets
the
blown, his
turtlenecks.
head sucks right into his neck. Just picture it. Then right when he comes, it pops back.
Why don't you look at him? He's talking about you.
I'm joking.
It's amazing.
That's not cool.
Were you a preemie baby?
Absolutely amazing.
That's a disrespectful question.
Why is that disrespectful?
Because he's a really smart guy, and you're asking if he was born after 4 months. Because of his head being obviously very small and
Narrow.
When Jeff Goldblum turned into you.
it's disrespectful.
No, it's
He's
not.
got a good sense of humor.
It's your show.
Right.
I dig it.
He just doesn't know what to do with us. I love it.
No.
All right, back on point. What was your question? What
I
do we
have
want?
no idea what my question was.
What do we want? What do we want? But what was your answer to the what do we want thing?
Well, first of all, I want to know what people are going
Love
to do.
is.
Are the police going to do anything differently? Number one,
Tonight? Absolutely.
No.
If
Just
there's
no. Well, no. Not the reaction. Are there any plans in stake? For example, are we going to have a special prosecutor from now on? Are we going to talk about that? Are we going to have cameras?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Just say something.
Just because they protested and this is all over the news, all eyes are on the cops. So yeah, I think they're gonna if they need to behave better, of course they're going.
I think the cops should have cameras, but they should be forced to carry them like tourists around their neck, like just a big camera and snap photos of the
what you think?
suspect. Yes, I do. Oh.
And I want to go back to what happened with Eric Garner. What were the police
I don't
supposed
want to reenact
do?
that.
What were the police supposed to do? Nobody's telling me. What? Say there was Mr. Garner, you're under arrest. No. Please.
We got a Lionel impersonation on the phones.
Why not?
No, I'm serious.
Denny Falcone.
You want to get Denny in here?
No.
You sure? Okay. Bishop in Chicago. I think the
You moving
protests.
diagonally?
I think the protests in New York were much better than the ones in Chicago. I just have to say that.
Well, I agree with you. When you talk like this, everybody's supposed to listen, especially when you have an opinion about everything.
He's a lawyer.
Come on.
Can't tell what he is. He's on the phone. Oh.
That's a pretty good impression, Lionel.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
Let me tell you about these callers.
Did not go
They're
well.
wonderful.
They're creeps.
They're wonderful people.
They're good guys.
They're very good guys.
Was that him?
I think they're terrific. Anytime
callers?
absolutely.
Oh, good.
Wait till they turn.
I got a clip of Christopher Walken as Captain Hook.
Oh!
You want to see this?
I do a good walk him.
Can you fix the screen?
Yeah, I wish it was out of studio.
What was this Peter Pan thing all about, this musical? It was live or something?
Yeah.
On NBC?
That was a live musical they did?
Yeah.
What? Nah, there was tape delay or something.
No, it's live.
No, it was live.
No, it wasn't live.
It's the whole gimmick. They did Sound
Yeah,
of
it was
Music
live.
last year and
Yep.
Peter Pan this
Prove
year.
it was live.
They were fucking showing the stage lights half the time.
And it was going to be it was a rating success, right?
I think so.
Absolutely. Critics don't mean anything.
Right.
Nothing.
Eyes.
What's important about this clip?
It's fucking Christopher Walken half acting as Captain Hook.
Oh,
Let me
let's hear
see
this.
him. Make it bigger.
This is Christopher Walken.
Hook for every boy. Boy on every hook.
You love musicals for real?
They're all dancing.
Tap dancing.
Well, Walken's a real dancer, so that's fine.
All right. You sat through this.
Yeah, I did.
This
I watched it.
stinks, by the way.
God.
Yeah, musicals are douchey.
They're horrible. What are they doing?
They're tap dancing
Yeah, but why is that fun to watch?
because they want to kill Peter Pan.
All right, where's
This
he going to
horrible
talk?
Captain Hook
Yeah.
is breaking into a Bob Fosse, a 5, 6, 7, and I don't.
You don't like it either,
no,
right, Lionel?
I don't get it.
Yeah. Good for you for hating
We
musicals.
watched that movie that what's his name was plugging. It was great. The one on HBO. He was in here the other day. Fucking Ricky Gervais's partner. You know what I'm fucking. Don't act like you're dumb. You know.
Well,
I'm
I finally figured it out.
How many times have you said that into a mirror?
fucking. What?
Rich, honestly, I finally figured it out. But
Good
I
movie.
wasn't with you until the very end. Stephen Merchant?
Yeah, good movie.
Hello,
funny.
Ladies?
Yeah, very funny.
I enjoyed that movie,
Funny.
yes. But I don't know what that has to do with anything.
I'm saying we watched that.
That's
instead
more of that
Peter
hallway
Pan.
stuff we should be doing.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a hallway
chat.
type feel radio show, though, and that's what you guys always base yourself on. That you're not, you're basically guys hanging out, kind of like a
A
water
hallway. I've never heard that motif before.
Yeah.
Hallway radio.
It's basically It's like
It's not like locker room talk. It's hallway talk.
No, this is hallway radio. We're just kind of passing each other with no real acknowledgement.
All right. So that's the Christopher Walken as Captain Hook.
But he didn't sing at all. He was supposed to sing, and Sam just futzed around and listened to the music again and enjoyed it.
who played Peter Pan?
Don't even answer him.
Lionel, they're answering your question out there.
Yes.
We're going to go back
Mickey
to the
Rooney's
phones.
corpse.
What was that question?
What do people want?
Okay.
We said blowjobs, but there's other answers to that question. And
More hats.
TJ, what do you got, buddy?
Morning, fellas.
Hey.
I just want to say, to answer Lionel's question, people want unarmed people to stop dying at the hands of police officers, and they want police officers to be held accountable when they do kill unarmed people. That's what they want.
Are you calling from Starbucks?
No, I'm calling from the inside.
What should the officer have done, Officer Pantaleo, if you were there on Staten Island and Eric Garner refused, or, as this video, jump cuts and all, what would you have done had you been the police officer on the scene?
I don't think I would have found it necessary to take the man to the ground. I mean, he was accused of selling cigarettes.
He was
Not
under
a
arrest.
violent act.
He was under
Hold
arrest.
on. What was he?
Yes. That was the whole
Was he
purpose
under
of it.
arrest? They actually told him they were placing him under arrest.
They were arresting him, sir.
Yes.
I don't know why that was an arrestable offense. The question is why it was necessary.
Because, and let me just
Why
tell you,
was-
well, let me
why
answer the
was it
question.
necessary?
Because a number of shop owners and merchants called the police and said, listen, he's out here again. He's menacing, and these aren't my words, sir. He's menacing people. He's driving us crazy. Please do something. You've arrested him in the past. He's get him off the sidewalks. We, taxpayers, want you. So let's assume you and I show up. We're partners. What do we do? Mr. Garner, you're under arrest. And you're my partner. What are you going to do? Talk to him? I'm going to turn to you and say, help me. I'm arresting him. Do something. Don't just stand there.
But wait a second. Why couldn't they have said, "Hey, can you leave?" And we could just nothing will happen. Just take a walk, get out of here. They're complaining.
Well, they knew him very well. He was arrested a lot.
But
All for petty nuisance type shit, obviously.
misdemeanors are arrested all the time.
Mr. is as well.
We have this idea that we're supposed to say, Mr. Garner, please, would you please Would you please go? No. Okay, you're under arrest.
But what is the illegal action in standing somewhere in a public place in the street?
But it is, dude. If it is a nuisance crime, whether you agree with the law or not, if he was being arrested for something that technically was illegal, and they were arresting him, he did resist. And what do you want them to do once he resists? It wasn't like they bludgeoned him with their nightsticks, and the guy had his arm around his neck, but it was not while he was saying, "I can't breathe." Like, I'm not totally... What would you want them to do?
It's a great question, because it's a misdemeanor committed in the presence of an officer. That's number one. Number two, it may be nonsense to you and me, but what if I go back to the precinct and I write you up and I go to my sergeant and say, "You're not going to believe what my partner just did. I put this guy under arrest," and he's standing there, and I'm saying, "Do something. Do what we're trained to do. Take him down. Don't choke him to death. Don't kill him, but subdue him."
Hold on, dude. What do you do if you go to cuff the guy and he goes, "Don't touch me," and he pulls away? You now have a mini standoff. What's the proper procedure to get him in cuffs?
There were 6 officers there. They couldn't get him up against the wall and get his arms behind him.
Hold on, but they
handcuff him.
They did.
They had to get him to the ground.
So wait, so your objection?
To the ground. We had to dogpile on top of him.
So you're saying surround women?
Hold on. That one officer in the green shirt had to mash his face against the ground for the whole time. Like, why is that necessary?
Because that's how they arrest people who are resisting.
Well, that's a bit violent for the crime,
dude.
No, but that's an arrest.
Oh, God.
You see, this is
arrests aren't pretty.
No, you can beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride. This is an old expression.
You see a lot of people arrested in New York City. It's not pretty ever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It gets a little rough.
I've been arrested before for marijuana possession, and
did you resist?
Mashed down. I wasn't mashed down on the ground.
Did you resist?
Hold on. I didn't want to get handcuffed.
So you didn't resist?
I didn't want to be handcuffed.
So you didn't? You did?
I did. Hold on. I did try to pull my arm away, and they got me up against the wall, and got me, got my arms contained.
How big a guy are you?
I'm 210 pounds.
That's not what he's asking. Where down below?
Because watching that,
he's a big guy, and the officers on scene actually a bunch of them were on the smaller side.
The last thing they want to do is have a confrontation with a guy that size. Do you think a cop, when he's cuffing a guy for a bullshit crime like this, that he probably doesn't want to?
The first thing they wanted was confrontation.
No, do you really think that they want to get into a physical confrontation with a guy that size? You want to cuff him and throw him in the car and bring him down, and then you've answered the fucking dumb call. Do you think the cops themselves give a fuck that he's selling cigarettes? They don't give a shit. They get called. They went there. He's a big dude. They knew him. He was annoyed. He pulls back. Apparently, according to Sam, at one point he resisted arrest, but it might have been many years before. But you know what I mean? It's like you're being unrealistic. Like, they're supposed to just go, "No, please, Mr. Garner." They didn't go to brutally cuff him, or I'd be totally on your side. They did try to just kind of walk up to him, and he pulled back and jumped away, and then they have to jump on him. They don't pull out.
The way he was.
Hold on, dude.
Jimmy, I agree with you, but he was standing up against.
They didn't hit him with their nightsticks. They didn't beat him with their nightsticks.
The 300-pound guy wasn't running anywhere. He wasn't going to run away.
They didn't. Meaning they didn't club the guy. Like, you look at Rodney King. That's an unnecessary fucking beat. They didn't beat the guy with anything. Once they cuffed him or tried to cuff him, that was it. They were just trying to hold him down and cuff him.
It was more unfortunate than anything.
I guess.
I
wonder, a heart attack, dude.
Do you think the cops wish they'd approached him differently at this point?
I hope they do.
How old are you? You got Kenny's attention. Kenny, grab Sam's mic.
I'm 35 years old.
He's 35.
Okay. All right, so he's kind of older. I was going to ask Mr. Lionel, do you think this is a generational thing, all this civil unrest? Like the me generation, or?
Not necessarily. I'm surprised it took the me generation this long to do anything. But let me go back to this particular
They're the
case.
me generation. They're
Kenny,
too busy
let me ask you a question.
Worrying about themselves.
Can I ask any question? If we were partners and I went back to the precinct
he's married, Lionel.
Okay. And I did not back you up. I did not. You had arrested somebody, and I'm your partner, and I'm standing there. And I just said, "Well, Kenny, be more persuasive." He apparently is not acquiescing to your polite request. Don't I, as a police officer, risk censure and risk discipline by not backing you up and perhaps jumping on somebody? Not to choke him, but to be aggressive. Isn't that what the training tells us?
You would probably get a blanket party in the locker room.
You know what that is?
It's not good.
Exactly. So beat on the perp with us, or we'll beat on you in the locker room.
Well,
Dude, that's not
So
they didn't beat up on the guy.
This is why people cannot grasp this. And the caller's a nice man, but he does not understand that nobody is advocating or celebrating this man's death. We aren't police officers. We don't know what it's like. We're it's like people who all of a sudden are lawyers all of a sudden. And they say, the grand jury, I don't understand. You've never been in a grand jury. Yeah, but I'm an instant expert. And I watch Law and Order. I have this weird idea that you politely ask people, please, sir, you're under arrest. Please acquiesce. Please. Would you please do it? I'm not saying that police officers are always correct, but this is something that I don't know anything about. And that
He's pointing at a vagina.
And that video, I'm not pointing at you at all.
I know.
I'm not suggesting at all that this is not tragic, but we don't know anything about being a cop.
That's not true. I know a lot about profiling. I read some books on it. And
that's true. And you pretended to be one. And he knows a lot about cops. He's a big Village People fan. Sorry.
So I do know a lot about profiling. You don't have to. You know a lot about things, even though you weren't trained about it. That's.
Come on, tell us about profiling.
I like how he said we all become instant experts, and I think we all do that.
Statistically, we do.
You hear something on the news, and then you instantly make it your own and think you really know something.
Well, because we think, for example, during OJ, everybody was a blood splatter expert overnight.
Hey, let's be honest, Lionel. She should have known better. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, TJ.
Yes.
Anything else? Because we got Bill Burr on the line.
No, I appreciate you guys taking my call and even listening to me. Thank you.
Goodbye, you little angel.
All right, call back anytime.
I love you, Jimmy.
Thank you, TJ.
All right. Bill Burr.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, well, first of all, great spot on Conan last night. Congratulations on that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's hard to go on after Jennifer Aniston. When I watched it back later on, it reminded me when they have the Kennedy-Nixon debate. Kennedy looked like $1 million, and Nixon looked like he had like a sweaty upper lip.
Yeah,
I felt like I looked like
a sweaty mess. I didn't watch the show. They have your clip online. I went right to the clip, and you killed it. I loved how you went with that cancer thing, and I think the audience was in shock, and you came out of it strong. For a second there, I'm like, oh man, they're not going with this at all. And then you turned it around. You were trying to say there's a place and time for everything. And during the baseball, I guess it was the World Series, everyone had to stand.
I'm watching the World Series, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of it, they have this moment, stand up to cancer, out of nowhere. And everybody in the ballpark stands up in a moment of silence and is holding, has a name of somebody on a little sign that they either know that is battling cancer or died of it. It's just out of nowhere. And then they go right back to the game. And it's just like, I had a friend of mine died of cancer, but like if I was watching a movie with you, I wouldn't, like, in the middle of it, hit pause and be like, by the way, Opie, a good buddy of mine died of cancer, was brutally struggled with it and everything, and then just make you go back to the movie.
Right.
I just feel like sports, where they used to be an escape from that stuff, are now becoming this platform for, like, all that type of stuff, and I don't know, it just annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, I love the concept, but last night you could see and feel the air getting sucked out of the room, and I'm like, man, how's Bill going to come out of this? And you did. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Oh, sure.
It was hilarious. And then the domestic violence PSAs. Doug Benson's a big fan of your take on that.
Oh, well, yeah. The whole, what is that? The No More campaign.
Right.
Basically, they start you're watching the game, and all of a sudden they have a commercial on there, and they start reprimanding you like you know a woman that's being beaten, and you're not saying anything. And
it's my wife.
Like, wait a minute. You guys were the one that screwed up, not me. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah,
and they're really the tone, like, no more. I just feel like they're reprimanding us. And then the new one where they just show the players just weeping or whatever that is supposed to be. It's just like the fact that it's coming from them after what they did. And I actually understood what they did. They tried to tone it down because they all have yachts and they have to make payments on it. And, I don't know. One of their employees was at a casino and hit a woman. I mean, it's not the NFL's fault.
Right.
Just because he plays for their team, you don't undo 18 to 20 years of good parenting. I mean, that has nothing to do with them.
And then they go on the field knowing they're going to, sacrifice their bodies and have horrible existence after they retire. Let's not acknowledge that at all.
CTEs,
more and more of these players that come.
A great one. No more acting like you don't know the repercussions of a concussion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
More and more past players are coming out, and you're realizing, wow, they are fucked up. Did you read about Darryl Talley, Bill?
No, I saw the one on Tony Dorsett.
That was sad. The Tony Dorsett was who knew that he was a mess.
Yeah.
He's like
suicidal, depressed.
Yeah, he could kill his family any day, basically. He's got major issues.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Well,
of course not. Of course not.
I actually like how a lot of people don't like the way people saying that really toning down the football. I think it's nice to see when a receiver lays out for a catch now. When you're just totally vulnerable, it's like you're running full speed, looking back over your shoulder, trying to catch a flying object, and someone else is just zeroing in on your head. Like, I'm surprised nobody ever got killed.
Right.
I like that now they try to hit them more with the shoulder, more into the body. I mean, your head still snaps back, but, just seeing the fallout of those headshots, I'm glad that they're trying to do their best to get that out of the game.
Yeah, they got some stuff to figure out, though, in the end. These guys are getting way too big and strong.
Yeah, but is the NFL supposed to be responsible for a sport that you know you're going to get hurt in? I mean, you know it. Same with hockey, you're going to get hurt.
Badminton.
Well, no, I don't think it was knowing you're going to get hurt. It's when the guy's already hurt and you go, yeah, you're all right, and you pressure him to go back in.
And they
with like a head injury. And, the debate was that they knew the long-term repercussions of it, and they chose the money. I mean, they settled out of court with them, which is usually that's usually the indication that you're guilty. Oh, not always. Sometimes you just all right, we don't need the bad publicity. Let's settle it. But
the payout was a joke. They didn't really get much for that at all.
Well, the whole country. I mean, they're going to, I can't give you an example, but they're going to pay a certain amount of money.
That doesn't sound like you, Rich. You're usually well researched.
No, no. I mean, they know.
To make a point, I can't really give you an example.
No, I'm going to get no.
You know what I'm trying to say here.
The product's going to bring in $10 billion. The product's going to bring in $10 billion, and they're going to get sued $5 billion from deaths. So they're going to go with it. So they know it's all about money. It's not just football. It's
It's an equation.
It's pharmaceutical.
The cost of doing business.
It's just torque.
Lionel's in studio. He's
pointing at a flaming thing.
Lionel, do you know Bill Burr? Lionel's a radio guy, a vlogger, a lawyer.
I know of you, sir. It's a pleasure.
No, it's a pleasure to meet you too.
Well, the problem with this CTE, this chronic traumatic encephalopathy, that's what we're talking about. The NFL for years said, we didn't know, and we're not sure whether...
Norton character?
Pardon me?
He asked if you were a Jim Norton character.
No, I am Jim Norton.
You sound a little like one.
But for years, the NFL said we had no idea that whether this was caused during the life of these individuals, because you couldn't check until players were dead, till you did an autopsy, to look for these tau proteins, this gummed up neuronal that basically. So now they're able to tell while a player is alive. So the NFL won't be able to say anymore, well, we had no idea. Sure, you're doing an autopsy of somebody who's 65 or 70, but it could have been age-related. And when parents start to see these form early, you're going to see the feeder systems. You're going to see Pop Warner football and high school and college. People are going to say, forget about this. And then football is going to go the way, ultimately, as boxing did, where you get lower income. You don't hear like great Harvard boxing programs anymore.
But you never really did with boxing.
Yeah, you never did. There's going to be too much money, and with money you have whores and beautiful cars. People will continue playing football. I don't think it's going to go extinct.
I don't like your point for real.
When you see
because all the champs that we know, their background. They came from nothing.
Right.
I love a good champ.
But when you see more and more people, Tony Dorsett or Terry Bradshaw or Jim McMahon, drooling in
Junior Seau.
Yeah, but how many people are you going to look at smoking through their throat and people still smoke cigarettes? They're still going to do it, and you can't make millions smoking cigarettes.
Plus, a lot of people, they're a bit pompous and like, that's not going to happen to me, though. right?
Yeah.
We'll be undone by our own pomposity. Go ahead, Bill.
Very nice. Bill Burr, I finally saw your Comedians in Cars, too. I'm a big fan of this Bill Burr. I watch everything he does. I didn't know you smoked so many cigars.
Yeah, I picked up the habit. I got to lay off.
When did you pick up the habit, and why?
Well, I always smoked one, like New Year's Day, when I always go to the Rose Bowl every year. And then I was doing an acting gig, and we had a day off. So I went out and I grabbed a bunch of cigars for everybody to smoke. And then we were in this confined area. And, it's a really obnoxious thing to be doing around people who aren't smoking. So I didn't take them out, and then I had them. We wrapped on whatever the hell we were shooting, and then I just had them. And one day I smoked one on my back porch. And I don't know, there's something about smoking a cigar, even if you didn't do anything that day, you feel like you conquered a country. And I just kind of fell into it.
Yeah, you look good with it, too. You know how to smoke a cigar. I did it a few times on vacation.
So does Norton.
I look like an idiot. Bill just knows how to hold it right.
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
I want to smoke. I just can't because I'm scared I'll start cigarettes again. But smoking cigars when you're playing golf, so many golfers do it.
Right.
It's just it's relaxing.
Where you throw the cigar down to putt the ball on the green. Those guys, and they just pick it up.
Oh, they set it down. Yeah.
I would never do that.
I had a great time on that, and yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, he really enjoyed you. Seinfeld definitely enjoyed Bill Burr on Comedians in Cars. I suggest you go check that out.
Yeah, and I got that little snap. He actually asked when I was telling him about learning how to fly helicopters and stuff. He asked for the little picture of me in the thing and everything. It was cool. He added all of that stuff into there in post. I thought it was cool.
Nice. We're dealing with some shit down here in New York. We got protesters. Have you seen the protesters on TV?
No. What are we talking? We're talking Wall Street, police brutality.
We're going police brutality. The Eric Gardner case where he was, kind of, some would say choked out by the cops, and he ended up dying. He was in bad shape.
I haven't seen anything about that one. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's got to be. I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's all good. If you're not on it, you're not on it. That's fine. So, the Netflix thing. Let's talk about it. People could get it. People could get it now, right?
Yeah, it's out right now. It's streaming. Whatever the hell the kids say, you can go onto Netflix if you have an account. You can watch it.
And it's called "I'm Sorry."
If you don't have Netflix, just wait for somebody to illegally upload it, and then you can watch it there.
Where'd you tape it?
I taped it at the Tabernacle in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a beautiful place. It used to be a Baptist church, and when they took the organ out, they kept the pipes and left them behind.
Nice.
Yeah, so when you go to shoot it, it really dresses up your shit and dick jokes.
Nice. It's always good to have a nice, classy background and firing out some shit jokes. I hear you.
Oh, absolutely. It adds a level of eloquence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to stick my pinky out, Jim, when I tell them.
Yeah.
Add an air of class to it.
It sucks that people are getting this shit for free. That's got to be frustrating. Do you find that most of your fan base, though, they do the right thing and understand the whole process, or?
Yeah, but and also like how easy it is now to actually just kind of go out yourself and make the damn thing.
Yeah.
Where back in the day we had to wait for an HBO to say, it was trying to get into the mob. Like they tap you on the head to say, it is now your time to make a special. All comics can now make them when they want to. And I believe that if you make a good one, you'll at least make your money back on the road, I hope. But for the most part, I think people do the right thing. But
you don't make a lot on them. It's just unfortunate. Like years ago you did, but now it really, Bill said, it's kind of a setup to get people on the road to come see you.
But what are you saying? People get it free? Netflix is free. You're going to get it from Netflix once you subscribe to Netflix. But Netflix is a buyout.
You get a taste of the Netflix money, though. Bill's talking about guys putting it up online illegally.
Yeah,
Bill, I don't know what it
torrent sites and all that shit.
With Netflix, now I don't know with a comedy special, but the movie Netflix is a buyout. I don't know
Stop saying buyout.
That's what it is.
I know,
Netflix.
but you said it a lot.
But people are also taking your movie and they're uploading it to these torrent sites and stuff.
Yes,
and you're not getting
what he's basically saying is Netflix will give you the money.
Right. I understand that.
If somebody goes to steal it,
they're kind of stealing from Netflix, but in a roundabout way, they are stealing from the comic, because if enough people do it and Netflix doesn't make their money back, then they won't do it with. They won't make put up the money to do specials if they're losing it.
Yeah, okay.
Losing money on it.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you guys have to deal with the same thing the bands are dealing with. You hope you have a good enough record, which means now people are going to go see you. And that's where hopefully you make,
that's it.
Your money.
But I mean, it works. It definitely works out, because I wouldn't be as far enough along if it wasn't for the ability now to put them out when like you're on your own schedule now. Where back in the day, you had to wait for them. I don't even know how it worked. Like guys like Richard, Jenny, and them. How did you become a made guy like that? Where they let you, and Carlin and those guys, how they let you do one every couple of years. And Jenny, it seemed like they let him do them like every 3-4 years.
Right.
And then there was so many other people that actually had good hour-long specials, and you never saw him do another one. So
maybe they didn't have a good follow-up. Like you saw Robert Klein every few years. He'd like every 2 years, and then there'd be a 5-year gap. It's like when you look back from 75 on, it's like it seems like he did so many, but then you're like, oh yeah, there was a 5-year gap in between the third and the fourth one.
Imagine all the guys that never had the chance and probably should have. Yeah. Should have had an hour.
Imagine if like your attendance was starting to go down, you'd have to. It's always great to have like a special out there to remind people, hey, I dance like a monkey, come and see me. Like what Norton was just saying, where all of a sudden, for some reason, they just don't call you for 5 years because they're moving in some new people. So as much as it is a pain in the ass, it's it is. Yeah, I think it really works out for the performer. It really screws over is whoever put the money up.
Right.
But for the performers, you get more exposure. But like I said, it trickles down to us, screws us over, where the people won't put the money back up anymore if they don't make it back. So please, if you can, try to watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, do it properly. Where are we at with the benefit? Is it sold out?
No, it's on its way. I haven't had a chance to promote it the way I have in the past, because I had this this special coming out, so I'm trying to make sure they make their money back, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to start promoting it heavily. We're almost there. There's only like a couple hundred tickets left. As always, thank you guys. Always whenever I call in the show.
Hey, Billy, are we doing 1 or 2 shows?
We are. We're doing one. We're doing one show.
But no, but he said he was originally. We were going to try to do 2, right?
I've heard, the rumblings that maybe eventually it's 2 shows, but it's 1. It's the 3rd annual Patrice O'Neill benefit, February 11th at 7 p.m. at the New York City Center. Tickets are still available, but it definitely will sell out. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're almost there right now, and it's 2 months out, so. Try not to put it. Makes a wonderful Christmas gift, and I got great stocking stuffer, whatever you want to call it. But I always, always appreciate all you guys coming down there and donating your time. I know you love them and everything, so I always feel like to ask people to then do a second show for free. It always just felt weird, but it's such a great cause, and
maybe a second show with a whole bunch of different comics. There's so many people that want to do this show.
Yeah, I mean, we could always maybe try to do something like that.
Whatever. We got to do this one first, then we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you leave them wanting more.
There you go, Bill Burr.
Old school.
All right, buddy. I'm sorry you feel that way. It's on Netflix now. Anything else, Bill?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. I'm in the middle of one of these radio tours, whoring myself out around the country, so it's always good to hear a friendly voice every once in a while I'm doing these. So
all right.
I hope all is well with you guys. Little Jimmy, I hope to see you soon. Rich Voss, always great to hear your voice. And the other guy there, the lawyer.
Lionel.
Lionel.
Any final thoughts for Bill Burr?
All the best to you, sir.
He's blowing up in front of our eyes. He's got a Kevin Costner movie that I think we're going to watch next week. I think we're going to a screener.
You're going to get a screener?
I'm going to check out the movie. Yeah, we're going to one of the previews or whatever it is. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Bill, always the best to you and your lovely bride.
All right, same here.
See you, buddy.
See you later.
Same everywhere. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. See you later.
Yeah, and check out Bill's special on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Fucking him and Bonnie clash like it, but
of course they did.
He's one of her favorite comics. She loves him, but they fucking just when they get together, it's funny. She loves him.
All right.
Why did you feel like you had to do that?
It's not
because
pertinent.
he's off the air. Because I'm told.
Why didn't you tell him? You should have told it to him to his face.
Well, what do you mean? Tell it to his face?
You feel like you needed to get that off your. Where are you going, Lionel?
No.
Take a leak.
Who just gets?
Why wouldn't you do it when Bill was on the phone? It was
because he was plugging and talking. I didn't want to interrupt him.
No, Lionel. Why wouldn't you go to the bathroom?
Just on his iPad the whole time on the phone call, and then he left.
He was looking at Bill Burr.
All right, I don't know why you needed to say that.
Because they had a confrontation.
I figured everyone was past that by now.
I just bring it up. She's a big fan. She just saw some of his stuff. That's why. What's the big deal?
All right.
You know what? I'm tired of you guys dissecting every fucking
Jimmy,
thing
are you with me on this one?
Yes, I'm
that came out of nowhere.
Yes, it did.
I don't know why.
I'm completely with you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. It was not necessary.
Yes, it was.
My wife really loves you.
No,
I'm sure she does, and I'd be interested to hear her say that.
Right.
But not you in hindsight.
Yeah, it would have been.
Cares?
It would have been interesting
really?
if you said it to Bill Burr himself. I think. I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
You're 100% wrong.
I'm not 100%.
We're going to take a quick break.
You are 100% something else.
In love with you.
We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to wrap up the show.
Oh, you only go to 10 now?
On Fridays, because then we do this thing called Accelerated, which people seem to really enjoy.
And Sam does a show.
And Sam is live today at 3 o'clock.
Doo-doo talk on his show.
Oh, what?
What's doo-doo talk?
He's funny. I was listening to him.
Doo-doo talk. He's talking about the head of his dick.
He's really a good guy. He's really good on radio.
That's good. Why don't you wait till he leaves the room like you just do with Bill?
And then he does this whole bit about NPR and him taking a shit, who's shit in his house, and then I left the car and I came back in and he was doing Burr Kreischer shit bits.
I wish you had a fucking hose from the exhaust pipe when you got back in.
Shut up, fucking
Please shut up.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
shut up.
Who, me?
Yes. No, the other guy rambling into the mic.
So we only have 5 minutes left with Lionel. He told us he plays bluegrass. I was thinking maybe we end the week with you doing a little bluegrass song or something.
I could try.
You could try if we could find a guitar real fast.
By the way, I want to thank you.
Sure.
You're welcome,
Jim,
Lionel.
Opie,
Please
Sam,
don't.
Thank you.
Don't thank Rich.
Sure, why would he?
It was on my way. But
Killed
I
your
won't.
lord.
What do you mean? He's a Jew too.
Exactly.
How do you know he's a Jew?
Huh? You're not?
No. And you said that with the proper amount of scorn.
I'm a retired Catholic.
That's right.
What kind of lawyer? You're not a Jew?
What are you then?
My ethnicity?
Yeah.
Puerto Rican, Sicilian, Scotch, Irish, German.
Got a little Puerto Rican in you.
Oh, yeah, Boricua, see?
Look at you.
Boy.
What?
Oh, I'm thinking of the other ones, a Jew.
My last name, my surname, is LeBron. Or LeBron.
LeBron.
Like LeBron James.
No, not like LeBron James, because that's his first name.
Well, yes, correct.
Okay.
Could you sing some bluegrass?
Sing it? No.
I'll give you a beat.
Yeah, we'll give you a beat. What kind of beat you need?
Well, I'm a manualist. I can... Okay.
But you don't sing?
Well, I mean, I don't really have anything. If there's a guitar, I can do Deliverance. I can do a mean dueling banjos.
So could he.
He's lived
right.
it.
Yeah. Could you just throw me through the leaves?
I guess we're not finding a guitar in time. We only have a few minutes left in the show. We really can't get into anything too heavy.
No, but this has been. Well, why don't it be too heavy? This is just terrific. I got to tell you something. I think this has been fascinating.
I'll do
Fascinating
it for 12
radio.
fucking years.
Thank you, Lionel.
We never got an answer to the question about penis size.
Yeah, are you willing to answer that?
Yeah, he is.
Not at all, sir.
Oh.
Well, he's He's part Puerto Rican, he said, right?
They got big ones, right?
Well, but they're not cut, so they look like anteaters.
Cut or uncut?
You know, this discussion.
That's actually a great question.
Thank you, Sam.
This discussion.
What?
Are you clipped?
Yeah, were you circumcised?
Sam will tell you about his penis if you tell us about yours.
Oh, please, please.
Oh, shit, I didn't call my daughter school. Fuck.
Why are you trying to get admitted? Dope.
What does that have to do with it?
Nothing.
To me, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, it's called talking out loud. We can hear you.
We only have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we got to get right into the accelerated.
Harrisburg for me tonight and only a late show tomorrow. The early show is sold out.
Yeah, and
Mars, fellow Puerto Rican.
Yeah, take your time, Mars. No need to rush. We have a minute and 30 seconds.
Look at that. Where'd you
He's
find
fucking
a
walking in
car
like
that fast?
You're walking in like you're in Miller's Crossing. Fucking handing the goddamn thing.
It's Lionel Media on Twitter.
Sorry.
It's Rich Voss on Twitter, and Rich is going to be in Providence, Rhode Island at the Comedy Connection
Tonight and tomorrow.
Jim Norton's going to be in Harrisburg. He's leaving in a few minutes.
And Lionel is not circumcised.
And not circumcised.
Lionel's going to use his head as a pick.
Lionel, take us out.
I heard that before.
He's good.
Jim.
What's up?
Wow.
Not bad.
That was very good, actually.
Not bad.
You know a Zeppelin?
Yeah. I guess not.
Nice.
Do that again.
Do some Cat Stevens.
He's still doing Zeppelin.
Exactly.
Over the hills and far away, right?
Do some Kurt Cobain. Not the music.
You know any Marshall Tucker? Can't
No,
you
I
see?
don't know
Greatest
that.
bar.
Little can't you see?
I've heard that. Yeah, I screamed that once at Ray Charles.
You know how to play.
Can you
Lionel.
wait? Can you play "We're Mad as Heck" and We're Not Gonna Take It"?
We're mad as heck. Not gonna take it anymore. Hey, Jim.
It's the wrong tone. It's got to be more peppy and upbeat. We're mad as heck, and we're not gonna take it.
It's a protest song.
Yeah, it's a song of protest and bereavement.
Yes.
I'm trying to go through the repertoire that you would know. This isn't
Cool.
It's not bad.
Can you play Taps in honor of our radio show this week?
All right, we're going to leave, Lionel.
Thank you.
We're gonna leave on
keep
an
hearing 'em.
up note.
I don't know if it's going to happen today.
What are you talking about?
yeah.
He's-
Huh? The Deliverance was the out.
That was it.
Yeah, but he
That was
just
the out,
not
I
on the
think.
button. He's back there yapping with Kenny, telling stories.
Looking up bikini girls.
Yeah, telling.
D-Rock, you doing a show this weekend? When are you on?
I am on Saturday at 8 p.m.
Very nice. Go check that out. That'll be live. You got Sammy doing a live show today at 3. Who's on your show today?
Ari Shafir's coming by.
Nice. So no Who Kid, no Nicole.
Nicole will be there. Who
Okay.
Kid flew to London this
Too
morning.
bad E-Rock and Who Kid are not the same person. You could call them Dr. Who Kid. Get it? Because that's what he is.
Good in his eyes and say, "Hey, you're a well-spoken,
This isn't a prison
well-dressed,
yard. I don't have to look in his fucking eyes.
well-dressed
No.
man."
Okay.
Was
Yes.
that suit expensive yesterday, Lionel?
Not particularly.
Wait, you're not wearing your tiny glasses today.
No, he's
either.
wearing bigger glasses.
wearing the bigger ones.
You didn't like us making fun of your tiny glasses yesterday.
Tiny glasses.
Tiny glasses.
In the wine.
The picture of Jimmy with your tiny glasses on made me
I look
laugh
retarded
all day.
I look retarded with his glasses on. It's like a Philip Seymour Hoffman character.
I have a question for you, and I've listened to you many times, and you pretty much are pretty level-headed. Sometimes you'll you'll lean to the right or the left, and you know what I mean. I know you're politically left, but when it comes a little more, but you will take.
But he's got some moderate in him.
You'll take the right side.
I will.
Right.
Do you think, as a lawyer, people like Ron Kuby are too extreme? Do you think?
Ron, why?
Because he's
No, I
on
didn't
the
mind.
radio.
But
He's a
I
radio
get
host.
it. But just the fact that you phrased that question, it was such an awful question.
It was a good question.
Do you think Ron Kuby's too extreme?
As a radio,
he's a borderline communist.
Of course he's going to say yes, he's a bit extreme.
Well, comics ask us about other comics. I can't ask a lawyer about another lawyer.
Maybe in the break room or on your way down the hall. You ask
fucking
them.
low budget fucking place doesn't have a break room. Fucking break room. You're lucky you got this room.
Some of these questions are meant for off air.
That was just terrible.
Yeah, that's like an off air question.
Hold on, let me start off better.
Although I like the tiny head thing was perfect for on.
Yeah, that was great. That was vintage radio.
What did you? What subways did you take to get here?
I walked.
Okay, see, that's that level of the question you just asked.
How about last night, huh?
Yeah,
wow.
I started the show by saying I'm very confused by the whole thing because there's so many people coming out and protesting for Eric Gardner. Mm-hmm. You know, I understand it's a tragic situation. I'm going to say that all morning because I really do believe that you shouldn't die because you're resisting arrest.
We have to give. I did a podcast yesterday. Just on this.
They looking for people?
No. And I just wanted because after being with you and you always have to say it was a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
Yeah,
we support our troops. You have to give these
disclaimers.
Yeah, you
certainly do.
I'm not saying all cops are. I'm not saying it's like of course nobody is lauding the death of anybody. So let's start off. Say that and move on.
Part of it, and you're right, but part of it is we've become accustomed to no matter what you say in social media or wherever it is, people are just going to jump on it. So you almost build in a repellent to their argument that you know is coming.
Right.
And
just
that diffuses. That diffuses your. For example, one of the things I said was, why is it? And if you had to talk to somebody from another planet who came in and said, why is it?
I said, how did you get here? Tell us about your technology. How did you stop from self-destructing?
Did you use the black holes?
Yeah, and the wormholes and whatnot.
But aside from that, if somebody from another country were to say, when a black officer kills a white civilian, and this is...
How's it going? My name's Rich Voss.
Rich, how are you, sir?
Good. I used to listen to you a lot.
You're the one.
That's my line. Out of every station you were on, ABC, then OR.
Thank you, sir.
I used to listen to you, and I was very impressed.
When he said I'm Rich Voss, let me explain to the audience what just happened. He was really hoping Lionel would say, I know who you are.
No, I don't give a
Shut
fuck.
up.
He's a lawyer.
You know who he is?
I was just putting my stuff down.
Oh.
We're not going to do an AC/DC thing again, are we?
That was your music because you're a big fan of AC/DC.
Love them. Nice to meet you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
You got a turtleneck on today.
Yeah.
You dressing down? Is this dressed down?
No, I got less to do today. Still recovering from yesterday.
Right.
What a day.
I don't know how to dress like that. He dresses nice. I don't know how to do that.
Because he has the right size head for a turtleneck. It's the perfect size head for a turtleneck. Don't you agree? If your head's too...
How so?
Yeah, what are you getting at?
He has a perfect head.
What are you getting at with this?
I'm complimenting him, saying he has a perfect head. That's
for a turtleneck. What does that mean?
Like, what's a bad head for a turtleneck?
Yours. Like, with all that hair, it would just look stupid.
Are you saying it's like a turtle?
Are you saying
a turtleneck?
I can't wear them. I don't like
I know, because we expect you to go into your...
Are you saying his head's a bit tiny?
No, I'm saying it's perfect.
So he could get a turtleneck on.
No, you're saying that. You're saying that.
No, I have the balls to say what I think you're thinking, but you don't have.
Why
does he have the perfect head for a turtleneck?
Dark hair matches the turtleneck. He's
just gonna wear a lighter color turtleneck.
Right, so that's falling apart
for today. The turtleneck for today.
I love this.
I think he's saying you have a kind of a tiny head.
He doesn't.
Probably.
You're saying that, right?
I'm a microcephalic. Yeah, pinhead. I understand.
Is that what they call pinheads?
Well, that's not really, not technically.
What do they call heads without chins? Jim Norton. Nothing. It's not a good day for me. Today's political. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be political, too.
Thank God. You're succeeding.
I just want to know why you think he has the perfect head. It's a weird thing to say, that's all.
He looks good in a turtleneck. Is that better?
But that's not what you're getting at.
Yes, I'm saying he looks good in a turtleneck.
We all know if you try to put a turtleneck on, you kind of have to squish it over your head. And I think what you were saying is you know.
Oh, no, but that's a good point. I wasn't going that. I'm saying
that
he looks
might
good.
have.
Some guys don't look good in a turtleneck. He looks okay.
All right. Well, sorry
that's
about
what I
that,
meant to
Lionel.
say.
I invited you back for this shit.
Yeah, but
not at all.
You gave us
I enjoyed the
reason.
tangents. I really do. I'm serious. I dig it. Absolutely. It's that veer. It's like carom. It's like you don't know where it's going to go. It just goes
carom.
I'm sure he's aware that he's got a big forehead, and he doesn't
have a big forehead.
Sure, he does.
How can you have a big forehead when you have such a little head?
See, there you go. I just want you to admit that you said he that he has a small head, which is good for turtlenecks. He looks putting them on.
No, he looks good in a turtleneck.
He's a well-dressed man.
He's a fucking.
He was in a full suit yesterday. That looked like
he's not dead. He's right here, Rich. You can look at him.
He's a well-spoken man. I'm talking to Opie right now.
I know you're talking about Lionel. He's right here. You're talking about
I know,
but
I'm talking to Opie.
But you can look.
Can we hear? I just want to hear Rich.
Yeah, sure. I was just stalling.
Yeah, he found it.
You got it.
Come on. We saw how well the honeymooners did.
The honeymooners.
Did he say Mike Epson or something?
No, I said Mike Epps.
I think he said Mike Epps.
Or was it Buddy Epson?
Okay, back to Lionel. So, where are you at with this today? I mean, it was quite impressive with the protesters. The numbers went way up overnight too. Yeah. And are they going to continue tonight? Is it going to get even bigger tonight?
Well, it's not going to continue indefinitely. In fact, what's going to happen is, what's the message? It's going to go I think it's going to go the way of Occupy Wall Street, because it's kind of incoherent. You know, what exactly? Okay, now that you've done this, I got it. I can't breathe. I got it. I understand that. What do you want? Imagine Martin Luther King having a march. What do you want?
They want some
cops.
What
do I want? I never thought about that. What do I want?
Yeah, but aren't there times to just say that we're mad about what's going on?
Yeah, we're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Exactly.
I was out there trying to get that rally cry going.
Did it work?
No, I was trying to stamp the 1 foot. We're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take it.
Right. It didn't work?
No.
Should have invited me.
I think they want cops arrested, Lionel.
Well, say it.
They absolutely want some cops arrested.
You want the cops arrested? You want cops indicted? Do you want to change the grand jury system? Do you want accountability for this? What is it that you want?
I would say all of the above.
You want more minority cops in minority neighborhoods.
Nah, that doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work?
Because I talked to a cop. What happens is when you just put black cops in black
I said more. I didn't say all. Go ahead.
When you just
Jimmy's got an answer to this for real.
Because he said what happens is they start complaining. He goes, you put them in, guys from Harlem or the Bronx and Harlem or the Bronx, and they see the white guys with nice little gigs like Greenwich Village, and they complain. Why the fuck am I here? Because I'm black? I'm just saying that they've tried that, and they got complaints from the black officers.
You go to Chinatown, it's all Asian cops.
A lot of times that might be a language thing, though.
It's all the same with the uptown.
Well, they speak English, right?
But, but nobody is going back and saying, let's look at what happened again. Let's look at this Eric Garner case. Forget the others and tell me what happened. What was the cause of that man's death? Forget just in general. Can you answer that question? Because sadly,
he got shot.
The facts. I don't believe he was shot, but
I was just guessing.
He wasn't shot.
Oh,
Lionel, I like
get hit by a truck.
I like Lionel better when he's wearing his tiny glasses.
Yeah, and there's something that's better about the tie. I take it more seriously with the tie than the turtleneck.
Yeah.
People are so
the turtleneck with the big glasses.
Distracted.
What?
Okay?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're easily distracted.
We're on topic.
That's okay. No, that's all right. That's fine. That's fine.
Like now he's just a guy.
Yeah.
Yesterday he was a media presence.
You got to look with those tiny glasses.
Now he's just a man who's sleight of frame.
Do you still practice law?
Yes. Well, yes. Right. But I want to go back to what I was going to say about this case. Can we just finish this thing?
Yes,
he wasn't shot. Yeah. This was a man who was arrested.
Died of AIDS.
Shouldn't have been arrested. He was arrested before in the past. He put up a fight or resisted. Wrong. Officer Pantaleo jumped on tape. Whether it happens enough, why aren't there riots? And I asked somebody the other day, and they said, "Oh, that's stupid." I said, "Well, why is that stupid?" "Oh, that's a racial thing." I said, "Wait a minute. I'm asking a question. I want to know the question." So what Jim is saying is, people say, "Oh, wait, you can't ask that." Well, why can't I ask that question? Another thing, too, is if you bring up the fact that Eric Garner, tragedy, I'm sad, let's get that out of the way. But this is the guy who, the reports were, shop owners said, "Hey, would you get him out of here? He's harassing people. Good to get him off the street. Hey, NYPD, I pay your taxes. Get him out of here. Don't kill him." So the way that he is portrayed was, this guy's just ambling down the sidewalk, minding his own business, has some loose, untaxed cigarettes in him. Here comes the fuzz. Jump. That's not what happened. Now, if you bring that up, that idea conflicts with somebody who's doing the I can't breathe, and they call you a racist. Because racist is the third rail. It's that kryptonite. You can't do that. You can't go there. And that stifles free speech.
Right.
Because there's 10,000 issues here. There's so much. For example, you know how we solve this? From now on, whenever there's a shooting, start with New York and move around the country. That particular prosecutor has to, by law, have a special prosecutor take the case to a grand jury. And that's it.
Right.
How difficult is this?
Right.
But I don't know if people really want to talk about the solution to this, because it's too complicated. It's not black and white, no pun intended. There's factors involved in it.
Right.
So I don't know whether people want to interrupt the momentum of the protest. And another thing, if you're going to have a protest, you better be organized. This is going to go the way of Occupation Wall Street. I mean, I'm looking at Twitter. My God, it's at Dallas, at Boston, it's Phantom. Wow. Mm-hmm. What is the message? Mm-hmm. Who's in charge? Where is this going? Is this going to kind of diffuse over the weekend into something? What do you want done? Because look at the civil rights marches of the 60s. There were people, there were John Lewis and Jesse Jackson when he was younger, and Martin Luther King, and they said, we have an agenda. This is what we're going to do. We're not here just to enjoy
rabble rouse.
Or it feels like they're just wandering around. All right, so you shut down the Brooklyn Bridge for an hour or two.
Oh, God,
okay, they're going to open it up, and everyone's going to go back to doing their thing. Well, like, what are you truly accomplishing by shutting down, parts of cities every night?
And what is
the answer to that?
I don't know.
Do they feel like they're accomplishing something by doing that, or do they feel like they're just wandering around, going, "Well, what are we really doing by walking around?"
Getting people to talk about
the most coverage,
right?
Blocking them,
and then you got the press. If they would turn off their fucking cameras, because everyone is on their phones, going, "Oh fuck, we're live on CNN right now." If they would just turn off their cameras, people would go home a lot earlier.
Precisely. There was a phrase in the 60s. What if they gave a war and nobody came? Or what if there was an event and nobody covered it? And again, last night, this weird juxtaposition, Peter Pan with the protest. And
I couldn't watch that Peter Pan shit. I know you guys were tweeting that event.
Oh, how was it, Sam?
I mean, it was fairly cringy at times.
Why? It's a story of a magical boy.
But I like musicals. I enjoyed it.
Too.
Do you really like musicals?
Uh-huh.
I like a magical boy, and I like musicals.
I don't think anyone really likes musicals.
Story of a magical boy.
Christopher Walken was not great.
No,
he wasn't. He didn't throw in a lot of effort into the role.
Why did he play Peter Pan?
No, he was Captain Hook.
Captain Hook.
Yeah, but he was lip syncing and barely dancing and like spoken word.
You can't possibly like musicals.
I do.
I like stories about magical boys.
That's what you like?
Yes, I do.
You like the message of never growing up?
Yes, I do. It's always being young.
Yeah.
Flying in and sprinkling dust on people.
I
like that? Fairy dust.
I do.
I can't wait for the Black Annie to come out. That's going to be great.
Is that going to bother you that they're doing that?
No, because they're doing a White Roots. That was good. It wasn't bad.
It was good, yeah, but
well, I mean, come on. We saw how well the Honeymooners did when it was Mike Epps. Okay.
I don't remember the Honeymooners.
You said the Honeymooners.
No, you didn't, you idiots.
I think you said Mike Epson.
Can you rewind and listen to him?
Okay, you might be right.
I know I'm right, and B, I want to hear the Honeymooners.
And I think you said Mike Epps wrong, too.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sure
I think you did.
Avocado. Give me the avocado.
Lionel, we'll get back to some serious conversation in a minute here.
Not at all
right, let's hear this, Eric, please. You got it? Eric! And I don't understand Sam liking musicals. You like musicals, Lionel?
I'm not a big fan.
I get really mad. I'm like, they're fucking singing again. Because then they will do dialogue for a little bit. I'm like, okay, I can appreciate a good Broadway show.
They all know the words spontaneously.
Right. And then all of a sudden, oh, fuck, here comes another song. And then you look at your program like, I got 12 more songs to sit through before we can get out of here.
See, I say only 12 more songs.
I hate musicals.
I like a story about a magical boy.
You do?
Yes, I do.
That's why Mum and Chance was my favorite.
It's Mum and Chance, not Mum and
I think
Chance.
you might have got that one wrong, too.
Why would you attempt a word of that size when you couldn't get the Honeymooners?
You know what? I didn't see the musical, but I saw the movie Jersey Boys, and it was great.
I mean,
see, I didn't see
a couple songs, little catchy songs, that's fine. But where the whole thing is another song after song, oh, God, no.
You didn't like Les Mis?
I don't think I ever went to Les Mis. And see, I don't even know if I went. I'm not sure.
Right. You could have gone. You just don't. You have no memory.
I think I didn't go.
You see the movie?
No.
Movie was good.
No. I did the Phantom of the Opera thing.
No.
He likes musicals.
What about Jesus Christ Superstar?
Did not go.
Yeah, that's a
Well,
matter
I mean,
of
did you
opinion.
ever hear the music? I mean,
I did Jekyll and Hyde with Sebastian Bach. He was really good. That one I almost didn't mind.
Almost.
How about Hair?
I didn't go. I avoid musicals.
No, I mean the movie. I don't go to.
Can we hear this?
versus Hair in general.
Right.